Hello everybody, this is Sky Darmas. Today I finished adding a new pile of vocabulary to the H section of my English etymography IME input method. But before we go there, I want to discuss a few things in the A section, like two little changes. I added a new way to write an or one, which is this character yuan, in Cantonese yun, Vietnamese nguyen. So in ancient Chinese this was ngon, and it has several meanings that match with one. There's the meaning first, then there's the meaning unit, unity, unit, and also money unit. Like we know that yuan is the Chinese currency, or it basically means like bucks, how much money. So it's also a unit, and it is on. It's quite compelling to compare it with one, and there's also one at the top. So a lot of people will say that maybe a more fundamental meaning was top, the top of everything, because ancient books describe it as also meaning head, but the head and the first and the top, it's basically similar. Yeah. So and this the usual word for one, one could see it as a stop sound alternation of a glottal stop alternation of yuan. Yeah. And I also want to point out that that ambulance should only have these two ways to write it. The third one is not correct. I deleted it. And we will see later on when we go to section H what's the actual reading of that character. And we will do that now. So let's go to H. I actually recorded this video before, but it wasn't, the only part of the screen was on, and so I have to do all of it again. So anyway, habit comes from the same root as to give, kap, and is also related to have. So this is the character I usually use for have. And it could be speculated that maybe this one is also related. This is the usual Chinese word for have. In Vietnamese it's pronounced heo. And it's also cognate with the oral, more common colloquial word for have in Vietnamese. It's go, which is go. And go has no p ending, so that doesn't fit perfectly, but it might still be cognate. And this is cape, like incapable, or capture. So, but anyway, the normal way I would write a habit would be this way here. Then this one is very interesting. Hem is like Greek emma, blood. And we see on the left side there's the Chinese word for blood, huyết, huyết in Vietnamese. So this is quite a nice character. It's like it was made for Greek. So in Cantonese this is pronounced ham, in Vietnamese ham. And this is also quite nice. Yin in Mandarin means element, and yin, hemoglobin. Yeah, this is and then we have half. This I write with half. This means to separate. So yeah. By the way, I should mention that this and this, the D-row and the E-row, those is the sinicization of Zhang Sizi. Though he has pointed out that his is not a strict etymological scheme. It's more about just helping people learn words. So there's not a strong emphasis on the ending. So it just fits sometimes. In this case, it fits. Yeah, gap. But this word is actually I use it for clap. It also means to twitch or something, to grab something with chopsticks. Gap toy in Cantonese. Anyway, let's continue. Hall, Dai Ha is like a big building, and in ancient times there were no skyscrapers, so this is basically a hall. You can look up the meanings. It's usually a very tall building and big, like a big hall. Halt, this is ngat, means to stop, so this is perfect match. But anyway, in German, halt and hold is actually the same word, so but hold in English is quite different. I used to write both of them as this ha, but this doesn't have a T ending, so it doesn't fit so perfectly. Then here we have hammer as ham. Hamshu means like chopping down a tree. But there's a stone there, so it doesn't have so much of a sense of cutting here. I think it's quite good for hammer, and it's hammer. Hamster is this hemi, hamster. Cantonese yim. Vietnamese probably something like hem. Hand, kühn. Sizi found this one. I found it too. I sometimes don't know if sometimes we just find the same thing just because it's obvious. So this is actually more like a fist, and on the downside it has the hand. As you can see, the translation is the same here. Handful is kühn, full, handful. Kühn fu fui. In Mandarin, 全盖kui. Handkerchief. I didn't know this word, but I know 手帕. Yeah. So yeah, this is kühn, hand cover, cap. But this is more precise. It's chief. Though in Chinese people would think that this is like the head, the chief, the leader, and so this might be a bit confusing for some people. Handle, kunya, so this was al in ancient Chinese, handsome, kun tam, handwriting, kun nuat ying. In Vietnamese, Viet is to write, and usually it doesn't have the hand here because the right part sounds like the same, but I think it would be better if it had a hand, because and this character basically means to tear apart or something, and writes actually has tearing, this kind of meaning. Handy, kun yi. Hang is yun in Cantonese and huyen in Vietnamese. Unsatisfying part about it is that doesn't have a G at the end. It's not NG, it's just N. And so it's to consider if it may be king, Vietnamese hang, or not quite sure, but the Vietnamese reading anyway, Cantonese is king. If this is maybe better, but usually I use king for clean, like incline, which also happens to have no ng but n. But anyway, it's well known that in ancient times, in the very ancient times, Europe didn't have much ng endings, just n and m. So it's quite normal that there could be a bit of confusion between energy, but it's not nice to not distinguish them. So I wish I had some better choice for hang. If I find something, I will change it. But I use this since more than 10 years. This one, hap, hip ye, basically means happy, content. Here we have a shrine on the left, a sacrifice table. It's for religious things. So happen, happy. Yeah, hap means very well fitting. Heart. This is not a hat. This means basically strive forward and do your best and stuff. Here's a stone and here's force. Harden, I put all the variants. Hardship, ship, it's up. This is from German Schaff. Yeah, he got the same one, got this one right and this one also right. The second part, where, ho, for, and hua in Vietnamese. This means where, it means basically products in a warehouse. Harm is, the original meaning of harm is to feel sadness, to be sad and stuff. And this is can be compared with hum, like in why hum, and in hum with hum, like in zan hum, which means to shake or to be moved, impressed. And this is be regretful. Like this is close to the original meaning of harm, and this means to feel cảm. It's also in Vietnamese cảm ơn, like thank you. Harmony. This is new. I sort of had a wrong character for it without an M, so this one is the correct one. This is both mean to contain or include. So the first one is like contain, like bao hàm in German, and this is ham ju. This means to hold something in one's mouth. So this one is a better fit. It means to contain, and basically be in harmony. If everything is contained in one thing, that's basically harmony. An interesting thing about this is it also meant armor, and we have it for armor. When we go over to let's save some time, not go over to let's just type it here. This is ham and means armor, and so I use it for armor. Yeah. Harvest. This didn't necessarily have a P ending, and so it's not the perfect choice, but it's quite okay. This is Herbst in German, and yeah, which means autumn, and this is autumn. Haste. This is Kap and had a P, and this originally had an F here in between, so that's okay then, because there's the original endings fit. Hate, hat yan zang, in hat yan zang, yeah, it doesn't, it's not an independent word, so, but in Vietnamese, these two are Vietnamese, and ret means hate, so it's a perfect match. This is also a nice character. It means basically a knot in your heart. The right part means knot, or yeah. The next haul. Yeah, we see here haul without. This means to pull, like sort of. Here it says transport. Yeah. Have. Yeah, we have these 2, 3. I'm always using this one here, but I recently considered also using this. This is basically like incapable. But yeah, it's better to distinguish. Ha, this one here, gak, is also read as hatch. This is an enclosure. This is a bit speculative. It's actually from somebody else. I think Zhou Jixu pointed it out. Hawk, this is zap, and this is hawk. This is closer in sound, but we have to realize that the hawk is actually a new way to pronounce this word. In German it's Habicht, and Hab is with a P, and zap is also with a P, zap, hab. And if we compare the animals, if we let's look for the picture of this one here. This is actually a hawk, and if we look for the other, this is actually a tiny bird, and yeah, not very fitting, just the sound fits. Hey, I recently switched to this one. I took the same as Suzu. This is Chou Go Ge Go, Go in Cantonese. G and H are similar. Before I was using this one here, Cha, but I figured that in ancient times it was straw and shraw, and so it corresponds to straw, like strawberry. So yeah, haze. This is ha. It means colorful clouds, and haze. Yeah, it's like clouds and haze. It's similar. It's also a very popular female name. Ki in Vietnamese. K in Cantonese. Khoi is Cantonese for he. This is yip in Cantonese, but that's actually adopted from this leaf, and this is used to be hit, and it's still hit in Vietnamese. I'm not sure the term hit or should be hit if it's regular. So it means head. It's in all the characters which have to do with the head, like we see here in Dao. As this can correspond to top, yeah. and this is head. And well, this is more for the German side. It doesn't sound very similar. It's Sao in Mandarin. It's a bit similar to German Haupt, which means also mane, and because in Chinese this is also used for mane, and it means head. So yeah, but it's just for completeness here. Not suggesting using it. Headache. I used this character. It has K ending. It should be something like yup, and has the illness radical. Others might be compelled to use, or might feel like they should use this which means like pain and stuff. But there's the phonetic part. Classically, in ancient Chinese has L, so it doesn't fit. There should be a K, even though ache comes just from this interjection, this like the sound of dying or being in pain. Heading, headline, line, lean means to connect, and there's silk on the left. Quarters. Quarter is cognate with Guai is the season, the 4 parts of a year. Health is with heal, hui in Mandarin, hui in Vietnamese. Heap, this is just soil, and hap, heap. Here is this rare character, how in Mandarin, Hör in German. Sitze also found this. Sometimes Sitze just does like the Japanese, just takes something conveniently, even if the sound doesn't match. Heart is hat, and is hat, and what also. This means core, but heart and core are basically the same. Etymologically, they are cognates. Heat, this is heat. There's fire on the top, on the bottom, and there's the sun on the left. This is hot, but we should distinguish heat and hot, so we should use hit for heat and hot for hot. And this is heat, the general Chinese word for heat. Niet in Vietnamese might also be cognate with ignite, but I think it's not, if I remember it. He for pick up. There's cognate with have. So this is sub and has the phonetic part hab. And heaven in German, it's Himmel, and it comes from a word means to cover, kamya. So, but here we have a V which corresponds to a B or P. So we better use cup, which is another word for cover. It's actually a variation of of Goi, yeah, which also used to have P. Cantonese, they preserve both sounds, so this one is Cantonese for kapju. Heavy, yeah, this is obvious. Hatch, heel, it's a bit dissatisfying that this is L and this is N ending. Gatten, heel here, K, this is consonant with K, like to K. This means basically to stand on your toes. Yeah, well, it might be very speculative, but this would have an L ending. Yeah, so maybe pick up your heels, build them up is related to heel. Yeah. So anyway, height. So use 度, 高度 to represent the T ending here, but I don't do that because 度 is like a full word and T is not a real word, it's just some ending. Well, I have D for like first, fourth, fifth, the TH, but this is a T, not a TH. So anyway, we might add something to it someday, but it's not totally necessary. I mean, ancient Chinese often had S endings for nouns, but they were never represented in the script. It's not really necessary. Hin, yes, hin is hen in Mandarin. This is the general Chinese word for hate. Hair is yoi, Vietnamese zui, and this is kai, Vietnamese ke. So this means continue, carry on the heritage here. Yeah. So not quite sure which one is cognate, but yeah, they both have good chances. Yeah, I usually use this one. Ilios is the Greek sun, and this seems like an obvious choice because this in Korean it's il, but in Korean all the T endings become L endings, so that's why it's il. So yeah, but the L and T are somehow similar, but usually they're not interchangeable, so we cannot really use Korean to take this one here. But anyway, Ilios is similar to sun. Hey, which means like sunrise in the morning. So this is just another variation to write it. It's technically a different word, but basically the same meaning and same sound. It's easier to write, so whoever wants to use the more easy one can use the more. This is actually quite hard to write. The right part is not even really used independently, so yeah. Hell is from hollow, and hollow is is this hơi, and there's a soil on the left side. So in German, hollow also gave rise to a word for cave, so Höhle. But anyway, here there's soil, and this the Chinese meaning of this is ruins. So maybe hell is a bit like ruins. I don't know. So, or is it maybe you're in hell if you live in ruins? If the ruins are where you're home. Anyway, it's enough that the phonetic part is cognate here. Yeah, close enough. Help is hip, is to cooperate. Helpful, hipful. Helpless, hip liu. Liu is also leer in German. So I'm not totally sure if less and leer is cognate, but this is like the best choice. Before I used like the character for leaf for less. But anyway, this is makes much more sense also optically. So ham is him, means very narrow place or path. So this is also used in a word for danger, ngai hiểm, nguy hiểm in Vietnamese. Ham, like to obstruct, hematin, we had that one. Hen, I used this very rare character, nobody knows it. It should be pronounced hin or something. Hin, yeah, from the looks of it. But Suzhou uses this han, which originally meant a kind of a bird, which is close to a chicken. So golden pheasant. Let's see how that looks like. And that's quite close to a hen. Yeah, the ancient reconstruction of it is Gans, and that sounds like the German goose, so I was not quite sure. But anyway, all the meanings, all the different meanings have always the chicken here. So it's closer to hen. Yeah. In German, we also have Hahn, which is the male one. It has to do with chanting. So yeah, but I didn't want to write it directly with the word for chant because it's an animal and should be here. The bird radical is missing, but there are the feathers of the bird. So this also turned into writing because to the meaning writing because you use a feather to writing brush, pencil, feather, but the original meaning was this here, golden pheasant. Okay, hepatotoxicity. This is let's go back. Toxic. It should not be written as tok. Like this is a more obvious one, but tok is actually drug, and toxic comes from Greek toxos, which is an arrow. Then herd. This I did this today. Yeah, for a long time I wasn't quite sure which one to use. I think I have considered this before, and this seems to be like the right one. It's hat and gunhat, and it's like govern, keep together, like a herd is kept together. And this one is assuming that it's like kind of a heap or something, but it's not so reasonable. This one is more reasonable. Something which you control. And there's a cart on the left, which it's because it originally means something to keep the wheel of a car inside, to not make them go out. And a herd basically also is something that kept together. So this means to govern and to control and keep together, and also it means government, governance, district or region. So yeah, a herd. Hero. This is ho. Cantonese ho au. Mandarin how o. Hero, yeah. This one is not similar. It's hab, so it has a p ending which doesn't fit. This is Reihe in German, Rei. Heron in English. It sounds quite different, but it's actually cognate with HR shift. Hesitate. This is actually har in German. Beharren. Hesitate, to stay still, stay in place. Mandarin ka zhu means like to not be able to go back and forth. So the top of the character is shan, like on top, and the down part is down, like up and down. You cannot move. You can't go up and you can't go down. You're stuck somewhere. This is Cantonese hai, which is inside, and hide means yan chong. And actually, this character originally just means, and still means yan chong. It means to hide, but well, in Cantonese it means inside, and usually they write it like this. But this is the only homophone it has, and this is only used as a radical now. But it's pretty obvious that it's the same word, and I actually use this for Cantonese hai, like to be in some place. Hideous is not so important. Highway. This I got from him. Yeah, way is a large group. Yeah, this might not be totally perfect, but it has the right meaning and a similar sound, somewhat similar. Hilarious. Hil is hey. In Cantonese, he. In Vietnamese, this means being happy, basically. His mouth's laughing. Actually, if you have two characters like this, then you have Shang He, like Shang He, which is the sign for marriage. So it's probably the most popular character in Vietnam. Hill, Ho in Vietnamese, Ho, Hill, yeah, means a hill basically. Hinder is hin means to pull, to drag, pull behind you, and to obstruct. That comes from that meaning. Hint, this is hin. This is to reveal. Higher, this is hui. Higher, there's the seashell on the left, indicating that you gives money. This actually means huilu means to bribe somebody. So if you hire him, you bribe him. It's sort of negative meaning, but anyway, that's the best thing I could find. His is 旗帜 in Cantonese 可击 his yeah 可击 historical hist is same as wisdom wisdom history and wisdom, yeah, why in Cantonese. One could also consider using what from either, like I saw it, but I think this one is more direct. Hit, this is hat, has a hand. This one have knives, is not so hit. You don't hit somebody with a knife, so this is not such a good choice. I guess I will delete it later. Hitch, cut, like yeah, this is not so important. Hook, hold, yeah, it might be an option to use this word, but yeah, hole, hollow, it also means cave in German, Höhle. Holly, so this is this has two readings. This is one reading is hol, like in holly, and another reading is coal, like in vegetable, like cabbage. Actually, there's still Holland. Let's just make it as a quick note. Holland. Holland is actually from German Holz, which means wood. So we write that as where is the wood? Yeah, it's a bit hard to find. Let's add that later. Holland, Hollywood. These are just alternative writings because to distinguish from coal. But coal, I write with grass on top of it to indicate that it's a vegetable. Also, this basically means stalk of a vegetable, stalk, and that's basically also the original meaning of coal, and holly had the meaning of somehow to stab also, and so that's quite similar. So and also there's an L ending here in ancient times. If you see the in a character, then that was kal in ancient times. So Hollywood in phonetic translation is usually Hollywood, but correct would be wood or wood. Yeah. Home I write with which is a Buddhist's home, but that's close enough. Certainly it's not ga, it's not close to home. Yeah. Hon, yin, hin is the phonetic part. Hien in Vietnamese, the phonetic part, and so this is inkstone. It's not perfect, but close enough. You could use an inkstone to hone something, I guess. Honest, and honor, and all these words I write with yan, yan. And that was originally han. In Vietnamese, still han hành. Yeah, it's also used for hun more in Vietnamese, but for that you should add some mouth radical there to indicate it's not the same meaning. So yeah, it's not cognate. Honorable, yen se hap ya, han se honorable. Yeah. Hong is honk. Yeah, it's the sound, and this is Vietnamese. Gong is the goose, the sound of a goose, actually. Honky apparently is a way to insult a white person. I didn't know that before. It's because when they were still slaves, they would honk, make some sound to call the slaves to come back from work. Honky Tonk is the nightclub bar. It's just some sounds. There's a very nice characters. There's drums on top, and here also drums. So Hong Yi Tong, Honky Tonk. Yeah, it's some funny character. Like if you know a lot of characters, then these characters are quite fun. Hong Kong is obvious. Hood. Suits I use this, but doesn't really have a T ending. This one has a T ending, so it's better. Yeah. Even if it's red, this isn't very nice. This is cool in Cantonese, but it has the phonetic part zap here, which is cognate with strophe, catastrophe, and strophe means to make a turn. In Greek, strophe is a curve, a turn in a road. So this has a P ending and K initial, which is similar to H. It's nice. Hope I used to write it like with hey, but with he here, but it just doesn't fit very well. The vowel doesn't fit, and there's no P. This one is hup, so this fits nicely. The meaning might be not exactly the same. This means like very carefully, or like. But if you hope something happens, then you're also like very careful and hoping, and yeah. Anyway, it might be far-fetched, but there's a hard radical at least, and that's like sort of standard for words meaning hope. Like also Vietnamese and mong also has the hard. Horizon comes from a Greek word har, which means to look out. So hauju means to look carefully at something, take care of it. Hauju. Horn is huyên. This is a rare word. Huyên in Vietnamese. Horny, huyên yi, Vietnamese, huyên yi. That's how it sounds like when you read the English words back in Vietnamese. In etymography, horrid. This is hoi in Cantonese. This is like to scare a horse. This is horror. Horrid. It is like video. Idea. It. So horrid. Something looks scary. Horrid. Horror. Horse. This is actually not my cognate. I think Zhou Jishu found it. Giu and horse, Ross in German actually. I'm not totally convinced it's cognate, but yeah, he's usually very reliable, Zhou Jishu, in his comparisons, so sometimes take it for granted. Horsepower, power is still from poten, wood here, wood in Vietnamese. Hortative, this is how, it means good and liking. Hospital, actually it was new to me that the pit in hospital is actually from potent. So the host is like the one in power, in charge. So hostile, it's funny that the word coming from guest means hostile, I guess. I don't know how many people are hostile to their guests, but it's because guests could also be a stranger, and so that's where it comes from. Because strangers, you don't know what they're up to, so they might be hostile. Hot is hot, and hotel is also from guest, but to write it like gastel, it's not so nice, somebody might read it wrong, so it's better to add a wood on it, so it's similar to Khách sạn in Vietnamese has also wood on the left side. Hound is hyun. As a radical, it's like this. Like this is not the full word. This is the full word. Yeah. Hour, it's like 时候 的后. If you would read hour in like it's written, then it would be hoer. So ho is very similar. This means to wait, and it means time, like 时候. House is from a root koi or something like that, and so that's similar to goi. Household, going housewife, goi chip, whip, wife. In German, Weib, and this is actually combine or a second wife. It's also the right part of receive, sip, tip. Yeah, the initial is not a perfect fit, but it's good enough. The final is important. Sitze obviously doesn't care at all about finals. This actually was in ancient Chinese, was Us, and it means ugly woman. That's not very nice. This one is a concubine. Is maybe also not so nice, but at least you can be sure she's pretty, probably. So yeah. Yeah. Then howl, it's 嚎叫的嚎 is this is a funny character or a scary character. There's a mouth on the left side and a club. Somebody has been hit with a club and is crying, and there's a tiger on the right side, which is scary. So basically, maybe the tiger is howling, so that's why there's a tiger. Actually, you can also write without the tiger and simplify it. But we write traditional here. It's more logically consistent and everything. Oh, hound. Why did hound appear 2 times? This one should be the correct alphabetic order. Anyway, correct it later. Hub is like center. It might be a center of fire. This is sap, is a kind of cooking as fire. And this is kind of in a wheel. He also chooses something with a wheel. Yeah, it has to do with hub is in a wheel. Center of a wheel. Yeah. Hue. Yeah. This is only toy is only similar in if you compare some the Indo-Germanic Indo-European root, then it's similar, but otherwise not so much. Huge. This is how. This is also the same as this how, which means vast. Like this is the vastness of water, and this is like the vastness of the blue skies. So actually, this was my first Chinese name. How it has a sun in the sky there. Humble, him, ya, him. Like him, her is him something. I don't know. This translation is strange. Him, her is better. Him, her, yeah. Humid. This one is very nice. Humid. This is Vietnamese. Is humid. And this is also and the phonetic part here is also is drinking, and this one is like yin from yin yang on the right part, the phonetic part. This looks more elegant because it is a common phonetic part and has a sort of abstract phonetic part. And this one here, to drink is not usually used as phonetic part, but it's phonetically more accurate, in Vietnamese at least. And this one here is yam, which means, which nowadays it mostly means like pervert or even masturbate, but the original meaning, if we it has water on the left side, so originally it means like a lot of water, which sort of makes sense here. So then it also meant have illicit sexual relations. Like this comes from doing being over the top, doing too much things, to not restrict oneself. So, and this is a lot of rain, like unstopping rain, so things get very humid. And this, the right part is again what is the video vid and idea it. So humid it basically means it looks like that. And humor is interestingly enough, its humor is related to humid, which is quite surprising. I find it quite surprising. And I don't know if humor is pervert or if it's wet, but whatever. It seems to be cognate. Hunch, hung. Yeah, pull really tight. Cantonese. This is Cantonese only. Hunger. Hunger is really, really very nice character here. Hong means hungry, and I know you can take my word for it, but Andrew is here to show you this actually exactly means hunger, and it's Hong. It's very beautiful. And this is Huang in Mandarin. This means like the soil is barren land. Nothing is growing there. It's also when you have bad harvest, you will also say this year was Huang was barren. And this one is also very nice. This means yeah, it has the wheat on the left side. And also means like bad harvest. And let's double check. Oh yeah, 虛無食也. Like having no food. Yeah, this is pretty much the same as hungry. You're hungry, you have no food. Husband. This is very very nice again. Cây bản, band is actually from being living somewhere, dwelling. So it's related to Jing Fu. Fu is like a building, and so this is German Bau. Also built Bau, and also neighbor, the bird neighbor. But although this is from the same group, band is the same group, but it's more like a tenant of a place, a field of something. So it's a bit like the boss, and this actually means boss. Ban means boss. In simplified Chinese, they write it as this ban, which means board, but that's totally wrong. Well, a little bit matter of concern could be that the phonetic part here is ban, which originally had an M. So let's check what's the Vietnamese pronunciation of this word. Maybe it's with N. So yeah, it was probably maybe created later, and that's why there's no M ending. So yeah, I intuitively I knew that there's no M, but yeah, I guess I checked before. Hat. Usually, if there's M, then Vietnamese it will be kept, and also Korean. Hat. Yeah, this is Hütte in German, and it seems a bit far-fetched, but I compare it with Huet. Huet, I think it's Huet. In Cantonese, Huet. This is a cave actually, and so maybe we are cavemen. If we live in a hut, maybe it's like a cave. So maybe it's far-fetched, but if I've done this for many years and for 15 years, and I haven't encountered another cognate of this yet. So it might just be hut. Hydrogen, hydro is the ancient Greek word for water. It's hydr, water is the same word basically, just a variation of it. So this is water, and this is water, and you just read it a bit differently as hydro, water. Yeah, and so this is like what is like the sound of rushing water and something like that. And this is Vietnamese which means wet, and actually water is connected to wet. So this is very etymological, but it's good to distinguish water and wet. and then you have still wash, so probably we have to use this for wash or this for wash. Yeah, both are fine. Chan is Jan, yeah. Hyper, this is actually this character, ngap, which is used for up and down. Up means very high in Chinese, so actually this hyper and upper is basically the same word, but I can write this upper, so I have to use a variant character for it. So yeah, so that's it. And hypnotic, hypno, Greek hypno is sleep, and this hap means short sleep, take a nap in Cantonese is hap yet hap, nap one nap, hype one hype, hypnosis, yeah. So yeah, that's it for today. See you guys tomorrow or another day. Bye bye.